It's no surprise that there has been this internal debate going on in the Democratic Party where you have the extreme left, which are, they are socialists. Let's call it what it is, democratic socialist. No, they are socialists. It's Bernie Sanders, it's AOC, it's Assemblyman Mamdani. And classic socialists. Government should control the means of production. Government should be providing commodities, and as you said, free transportation, free food, free childcare, et cetera, and income redistribution by taxing the rich and taxing the corporations. It's antithetical to New York City to be anti-corporate. As you pointed out, New York City corporations are already high taxed, as are the individuals. And I think it would be a death knell for New York City.
New York City mayoral candidate Andrew Cuomo warns that his rival Zohran Mamdani's socialist agenda would be the death knell to the Big Apple. And his far-left agenda could cause ripple effects across the nation. But the cash isn't on Cuomo's side. Mamdani is doubling Cuomo's fundraising haul, despite more than half of his donations coming from outside of New York City. For a reaction to all of this, let's welcome Seattle talk radio host Jason Rantz. Jason, if Mamdani has the support and the money, I mean, it just seems like Eric Adams, these others are just splitting the vote. If they don't find one candidate to run against Mamdani, they're probably going to lose, right?
Yeah, I think you're correct. The caveat being we generally see more attention getting paid to races after Labor Day. And so just give it another week when people really start to pay attention to the claims that Mamdani is making and the promises that he's making. And maybe you would think that some folks will get a clue that, well, number one, some of the stuff he's promising he can't ever deliver. The mayor position can never deliver. But if he were to deliver on what he can deliver, it really would be a death knell to New York City. And perhaps that's what we need nationwide. We have seen socialists take control over city councils in the past, and maybe even some mayors in smaller cities, but never to the degree that we would see in New York. And yet, maybe that's what we all need to understand, truly understand the danger of these policies. I just wish so many people didn't have to be hurt, like what would happen in New York if he were to get into office.
Well, the New York Post reports that Mamdani wants to wipe out the enforcement of all misdemeanor offenses against criminals. And from having city-run grocery stores to now this, everything you could list out there. At the end of the day, it is about policy. How would New York recover if they were to implement even just a fraction of these?
Yeah, you wouldn't recover, at least certainly not in the short term. I mean, just think about what he's proposing with decriminalizing crimes. And oftentimes we hear the radicals on the left frame this as we're, just criminalizing poverty and these are crimes so that people can live. That's, of course, not what we're talking about. And if you want to know how it's going to go, literally just look from 2020 to about 2023, because this was essentially policy all around the country with soft on crime mayors and governors who allowed this kind of policy to take shape. And what did we see? We saw historic rises in homicides. Yeah. We saw historic theft and stolen vehicles. We know what's going to happen.
Jason Rantz, I wish I had more time, because you know what we would be talking about? How scrawny those bench presses from Mamdani were. That is one of the biggest embarrassments in a campaign. Hey, everybody gather around and watch me do this. Jason Rantz, thanks so much for joining us.